I never heard that term, cancel culture,
doxing,
cyberbullying,
social media shaming,
until after I've been canceled.
Imagine waking up with the whole world talking about you.
everything was just lit up.
Because your mistake, your secret, has now been made public. Trust me, I know a little something about this. I was patient zero of having a reputation destroyed because of the internet. And I would not be the last.
That's Monica Lewinsky, the narrator and co-executive producer of 15 Minutes of Shame. The new documentary is about the business of public shaming and cyberbullying and takes a look at the specific people who've had their lives turned upside down on social media and other platforms.
Director and executive producer of the film, Max Joseph, is with us this morning. Good morning, Max.
Morning.
I'd imagine there's some psychology behind this, like people do things in a mob that they wouldn't do as an individual. Is that what explains this shaming and canceling of strangers?
Well, it's more complicated than that. It's like three perfect storms on top of each other. The anonymity of the internet and the way it inhibits you to kind of say things you wouldn't say in the real world, that's definitely a part of it. Another part of it is that we're kind of being worked up by the media and clickbait to be outraged, because outrage is a good profit model for a lot of sites and social media platforms. And then there are a lot of people saying terrible things and doing terrible things that we're seeing more and more of because of social media. So there's real outrage, there's manufactured outrage, and then there's the fact that we tend to do and say things we wouldn't do in real life because A, we're anonymous, and B, we can't see the humanity of the person on the other end of the internet. And so it makes it very easy to kind of dehumanize them.
I was a little surprised. I was initially drawn in watching this because it's like, oh, everyone knows Monica Lewinsky and her story, but these people that you profile, you remember them. Oh, yeah, I remember what happened to them. Like the guy who was profiled in the New York Times for buying a bunch of hand sanitizer. Just give that as an example, would you?
Yeah, Matt Colvin in February went out and bought, he's an Amazon third-party seller, as many people are. It's one of Amazon's biggest businesses. And before the pandemic, he and a bunch of his friends went out and started buying hand sanitizers and masks because that was trending upward. And he went around, he bought a lot, and then he sold them at pretty high prices on Amazon. Now, a New York Times reporter came and basically interviewed him in February. And then the article ran a couple weeks later after the pandemic officially started and people started dying in the US, and the nature of the article, according to Matt, really changed. And he was, came out on the front page of the New York Times below the fold, and became one of the most clicked on, shared articles of the entire year. And as you remember, last year was a pretty insane year. So to have the 8th most read article in the year, people took the bait and they vilified this guy, and we all kind of assumed he was a jerk.
And sometimes these people get fired by their employers. And sometimes I think corporations fold even when they're not wrong, just because any kind of publicity like that can be bad for them and for their business. Is there a way for corporations or for individuals to fight back against this kind of shaming?
Well, you bring up a really good point with the corporations. A lot of the canceling, actually, it's not done by Twitter or the mob. It's actually done by the employer. The employer has the ability to fold or stand up to the mob, but really all they need to do is slow down. Do an investigation, take a couple weeks, don't just jump the gun and be so scared of the online mob that you're going to, make a giant mistake and maybe fire the wrong person, or, not defend someone who's been a loyal employee for you for years because something was taken out of context.
Well, it's a fascinating documentary. 15 Minutes of Shame is streaming now on HBO Max. You can find Max Joseph on all the socials. And thanks so much for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.